choose which blog category you're going to be showcasing here. And again, it has a lot of different options that you can organize content by. You know, you can edit this however you want. Elements, even like, does it show arrows? Does it show controls? That's these little things at the bottom, those kind of things. A read more button, post meta. Sometimes when you have, if you have content that is date specific and you want your readers to know about that, you leave this on, but if you don't necessarily, you can turn it off and it won't share any of that information. Sometimes that's helpful for, you know, sites or businesses that, you know, maybe they're not going to update as often or something like that. So you don't really want to tag when the last blog was created or something. So that's helpful to know as well. And then featured image, it's being used in the background here, but this is what the featured image is. And you'll see that again when we're creating blog posts. You have to choose a featured image in order for that to pop up in different feeds. It's also really important to have a featured image because when you share this on other platforms, that's what's going to pull up when you share it somewhere else, like Facebook, for example. The featured image should pop up on your Facebook post. You know, if you've ever shared a link there and you have the image, that's where that comes from. The rest, not super important. I wouldn't play around with that too much because you're not linking this anywhere other than your site. Currently, background, you don't really need this either, but if you didn't have an image, for example, this background color would show up in its place. So that's something you might want to know. And again, there's options with how to, you know, have a background gradient. Don't use gradients, they're ugly. That kind of thing. But if you wanted an image, a specific image, or even a video, and this is standard across most content pieces here, and you'll see that anytime, you know, you're posting something, especially on the full with headers and those kind of things. Let me know if I'm going too fast at any point. There's so many elements to this, and I'm just kind of giving you bird's eye view. You could definitely play around with how you want these things to look. For example, the text here, that can be edited. I think right now it's like showing up. I don't know why it's showing up that way, but anyway, you can sort of test out how you want things to look. Let me know if you can see that. Close this to get a better view of that. How you want it to look, you know, the size of the text. It's, that kind of thing. So pretty editable. Again, lots of options. So if you want to update things, change things, you could definitely do that pretty easily. And again, we hit just save if we want to save those changes. I'm gonna hit save, we don't really change anything. But yeah, so that's pretty much the page layout, and that's across the board pretty standard. We'll go to the blog section just to show you how to create a post and what you need to know as far as like laying out the page and all of that. I'm gonna get out of here, and then I didn't hit save because I don't actually want to save anything in case I did mess something up. So I'm just gonna go exit Visual Builder, and again, it'll ask you one more time if you want to save, etc. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. Save. So I discard and get out of there. All right, now back to the dashboard to create posts. So here are all your posts, all of the articles. You can see they've got, you know, they've been categorized, some of them need categories. So that's something you might want to edit. There's the quick edit tool as well, which I would suggest because you guys have quite a bit of content here. And if you already have an idea of what those new categories are, you can do that here. Or you know, if they have been added already, maybe this was directly Chamber News and you want to change that, you could do so here and make a quick edit to that. And then you would hit update and it would, you know, change the category. But again, things that are helpful to know, for example, like the publish date, you can always update this to reflect, maybe you created a post and you don't want it to go up until January 1st. You know, you made it today, but you're not ready to make it live until then. You could edit the date here and it'll post to your blog on that day. So if you have, this is extremely helpful if you have what we call batch content, just like a lot of stuff that you want to share, and maybe you already have a bunch of articles and things, but you want to pace out, you know, how they come up, etc. All of those things. Or if you want to track back to things and give them specific dates of importance, you know, if that matters to you, you can do that too. So a lot of options there. You can change the status of an article if you know, have something old maybe that you don't want on the blog anymore, but you don't necessarily want to delete it. You know, you can turn it into a draft and it'll go away on the front end and still be accessible on the back. So there's that. We're going to create a brand new post. Oops. So add new. So there are a couple ways to do this. If you have something, I would say using the Divi Builder to do this instead of just directly putting content into here, only because you want to get in the habit of using that builder and creating page layouts that are consistent. So for example, let's just call this Happy New Year, right? So that's my post title. I do want to do that first.
If I send you over like an article, can you like post it for us and just show us like how and where it's going to be?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to give it to you right now.
All right. Sounds good. We will not. Happy New Year, anyone. Where should I look out for that? Sorry.
I'm going to put it in the
on the Zoom.
Yeah. Sorry. 1 moment.
Sure. Anyone have any questions so far? Is this making sense?
I got it so far.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Okay, I just put in our bi-weekly news in the link. And so how about we just start with the $500 million grant relief program? And the copy is already right underneath it. I don't have a picture. But
okay.
Or we can use the life science article.
Oh, these pictures are so nice. Okay. We can do this. Would the title be this?
Yeah. And then it would just be that small blurb, the article.
This here?
Yeah, something different. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to hit copy. Go to, no, that's not it. Let me remove that so I get confused. So I put that into here as the title. It looks like according to your membership program, you can identify content specific to member levels. I'm not going to touch that since I don't know what that would be. Right sidebar. So we go down this way. And we could choose a category.
Can we add a new category?
Mm-hmm.
We can call it a COVID-19 or COVID-19. Yeah. There we go. Thanks.
COVID-19 sounds good. And then down here is where you'll find that featured image. I'm just gonna pick something random. I think I saw one that might actually
Yeah, just something that's business use.
here. And you can always edit any of these things. This, especially alt text, will help with your SEO, for example. So that might be useful to make sure when you do upload images to have alt text. SEO being like how search engines find your content.
Okay.
Just gonna duplicate this everywhere. It'll also, sometimes one of these might show up on, like, again, when you share a link, this information might be used as a description. So there's that. Set the featured image. We got it. Okay. I'm going to save the draft now because I want to make sure I'm saving this title and the name of it before I hit the Divi Builder, because there's a way to do it in Divi Builder, but it's kind of complicated. So we're just going to make sure we got the featured image, the category, and the title. If you wanted to be more specific about the link, you could do that here in permalink and edit. So for example, if you wanted to call this just COVID-19 relief, or if you wanted to have something more SEO friendly, you could do that here.
Can you put CA relief?
Say that again, CA?
CA relief fund.
CA. And then I put brackets between it because that's what Google will see as spaces. CA relief fund, is that it? Okay, so hit OK. I'm going to save that again. And then I'm going to use the Divi Builder. And so this part is, I mean, you can choose any of these. I usually stick to clone existing page. This because it's just easier to work from something that already exists. I can look at other posts, or, since the site kind of got a new look, I might use one of those pages as a model. I'm going to use Chamber News because that's kind of what our blog page is looking like. Let this load. Sorry, when I'm on Zoom, everything loads 10 times slower. So we'll wait for that to load, and then I'm going to switch to build on the front end. You could do it back here, and it's a little more modular view, which is helpful sometimes when you have like a lot of different content spaces. But since we're just doing some text, etc., it's not that serious. All right, this is taking for life. So I'm just going to hit this, see what happens. All right. I don't know why this is probably that other page. Yeah. All right.
And this is the news page, or?
This is the new page that we created for, I'm just deleting this because it's not helpful. So I used a pre-existing page. I believe this was the news page as a frame or layout frame for this post.
Oh, so which like tab would that show up under? Like on the website? This new
On the
post?
live end?
Yeah.
So under here. So it's the news page, and then you would see like what is it, like an excerpt? And then you can click on that and view this entire article.
So
So
all posts will show up like under news. We have to specify where it shows up under.
that's a great question. So we gave it a category, even though now it's saying uncategorized, but we'll come back to that. It's probably because it's in draft mode. But yeah, so what will happen is, here, let me go back to this. Depending on the category, that's what's going to show up. Right now I have it set to all. So the latest post will show up here. But if I had it only set to like COVID or something, and this page doesn't reflect that, then it won't show up. Does that make sense?
Yes, we have. So it's through categories that it'll show up.
Yeah. Depending on the category will dictate where it shows up.
That news page.
Hmm.
So there's the community link right there.
Yeah.
And then there's the news link.
They're one and the same. I think we have this more of like a header. So if someone clicks here, they come to this page. It's the same page. I just renamed it here because I think you wanted a news one. So-
Okay, because I thought it was like the other, like I thought it was the one with the, can we click on news?
It's the same exact page. So
Oh.
if you see it highlighted, it's because you're on that page.
Got it.
It just has a second name. It's sort of like a way in case someone's not aware that if you click here, it'll take you to the blog page. They can click on news and that does the same thing.
Got it.
All right, so we have a section here for content. I'm going to add a new module and choose the text module. And it kind of already builds in some like, what is it, filler text. So I'm going to remove that. Come back here. This is what you want to put in there, right? Now I'm going to put it in this way, but I just wanted to show you guys when you do that, you see how it created this box? That's because there's some coding styling in MailChimp and for most websites. So when you copy and paste directly, it sort of brings that with it. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is actually go to this text window, and don't be intimidated by that. You don't need to know how to code. But since I copied text, I'm just going to drop it in here, and that will, you know, not give it any other styling than what I want it to look like here. So it does that more cleanly, if you will. And if you need to, I saw there was a link here, right? We want to highlight that, come over here to the insert the link. Let me go to here. Let's see. This is that link, copy. And then I just paste it here. Target is one that you want to take note of, and that just tells you where you want it to open when people click on that link. Most of the time, if it's not concerning something directly attached to your website, you want to have it open in a new window. And that just allows people to like go somewhere, but also need to come back to your site, you know? So it's a way to like keep things internal. So then I just hit OK. So that's linked. I also saw this for starting with please, it's in bold. So I can come back to that right here. Hit the bold, obviously. I think that's pretty, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm like a visual person, and this looks like a big chunk of text, so I'm just going to break this up a little to give it some more attention. You know, you can kind of move this around. That looks good. That's fine. I don't have an image right now, but if I did, I could add an image above here. Just choose the module, the image module, and see how everything, when you add something new, it'll automatically put it up to below the previous content, but you could just drag it and pull it up here if you want. I don't have it set to have the featured image just automatically display, because sometimes the sizing on that gets a little out of range. So I like to be able to like control, you know, how that looks. So then we come here and we can change this image. We can go back to that one image of the girl and keep that. I actually have a better version of this because that picture is just too tall. So I'm going to upload a different one.
Wait, so if we set like because if we set a featured image before, will that not show up in the Divi Builder format? Like we have to redo it again?
So I have it turned off. It's like a, what is it? Like a feature, I guess, if you will, because typically in WordPress blogs, if you have a featured image, that image will be posted along with the article automatically. But what ends up happening is the size, it gets blown out. It's for the most part. So in order to work around that, I have it turned off, and then yeah, you have to upload it separately. Let me just find. Sorry, no. Trying to look for.
So are there two different sizes for it?
Yeah, I actually created a second size because the image itself was very tall.
Mm-hmm.
So if I just drop in the one that exists on the Divi Builder or in the site already, like it would kind of post a giant image. So I'm just looking for the one that I had trimmed before. I was going to use it on a different page, but didn't end up using it. So excuse me. Look at this.
When we're creating like content and posts and stuff, should we create like two sizes? You know how like you create different media
Yeah,
sizes.
for different platforms.
Yeah.
It just depends. I think in general, what you want to do to start with is have a standard size so you don't have to like duplicate, especially with the blog. That just so happens to be the thing right now because that's the one that existed on the site.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, like I usually just use one size on the website. And then of course, if you're going to share it on social, etc., like Instagram, for example, you probably have to resize it.
Yeah.
Because on Facebook, like I said, if it's the featured image, it'll just put up that and they have their own like resizing. Sorry, trying to find this image. All right, I'm not gonna obsess over this right now. So I'm just gonna use the one that we have to show you what that looks like. And I'll come back to it and edit. Where did she go? Oh, I might already. All right. So as you can see here, it tells you the size, and that's pretty giant.
Mm-hmm.
And it also takes up like a ton of space on your platform, on your website. So that kind of can affect load time. So you see how that is kind of like a very ginormous picture. I mean, you can edit it down here, but so that's helpful, but it's still like the doesn't change the size of the image, if that makes sense, data wise. So we can do that for now. And if you notice there, I changed, like, for example, if you're placing an image any other place and you want it to be to the right, the left, etc., you can do that here and change the sizing. In alignment, typically, you can do that here as well. Any of that. For some of the images on the front pages, I use what's called a box shadow. So if you want to know how to like replicate that, you can do that here as well. And it sort of gives it like some depth. I think it was a box shadow coupled with a top border. Again, border styles, you just sort of increase the size on that. I think it was 6. I don't know. But you can't really see it on this one because it's dark. But those are just like some styling options that you have there. And that's another reason I don't always love having the featured image automatically show up, because I can sort of adjust the content a little more freely this way. So there's that. So we have our image, there's, the copy, obviously. If you want to add a header to this, again, come back to the gear. I don't know what you want to call it. I know there's a header on the page, but when you get down to here, it might be a little helpful to see it again, So, that's not it. Made a mistake on my own end. No. Let's see if it'll copy, maybe not. Nope. All right. No love. And then you can grab this, and there are header options. Ta-da. It looks crazy here, but if you look at it here, it's not so bad. You can change that, obviously. So those are the helps. Again, if you needed to add a button, you could do that here, that kind of thing. Whatever you want to add to this, you have some options.
Okay. So right now this is uncategorized.
Yeah. Let me see if I can change that here. So I'm sorry, let me show you what I just did. So the gear here, we have some of those page settings. So you can change the post title, or you can change the featured image, and then there's the categories. Sorry.
I'm a little confused because when you started, I thought you made a new category that was COVID-19 and you put this as COVID-19.
Yeah, so I'm not seeing it here. That's a good point. And again, it's just about like checking the steps. I might have not saved that latest draft. And I can't add a category on this end. So I'm just gonna hit this, save it as a draft again. And then exit Visual Builder. And now I'm just seeing it from the front end. Mind you, it's not live yet because I saved it as a draft.
Yeah,
But what
you're
I
missing an F at the bottom, like towards the bottom.
F? Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Good catch. All right. Process. Okay. Try this again. Save draft. I'm not going to publish it because that would make it live for everyone to see. Then I'm going to exit Visual Builder and then come over here to edit post. So this takes us back to this view. And here you kind of see Divi in more modular form. So you could do everything we did on the front side. You could do it here as well. It's just more, obviously it's a bit more chunky, not as visual. So I'm going to come back to here and see what the heck happened. It didn't save my category for some reason. Let's try it again. Oh, but you remember. So add new category. And I'm going to make sure it's uncategorized as unchecked. Try this.
Can you add it under chamber news too? Like,
yeah, you can have multiple categories.
Okay. I just want to see how it plays out on the front end. Like, I really want us to put this post up today, like right now, and just see what it looks like. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm just going to hit publish, and that'll make it live, and we can take a look. I'm going to look here just to be like, yep, okay. So it seems like that's saved. So now I'm going to go over here. Post is published. Let's view post. So we've got our categories correctly. This is the specifically this post. Now on the community page, which is the blog page, I should see it here. So there's that. Let me see. And again, here it is again, because this is a reiteration of news. But what it can do is now that, you know, we've changed the priorities, right? I can specify what I want to see there. So for example, I can come here, so I'm not repeating, right? The thing with this is I'm going to choose everything but what I want to, what I'm putting up here, if that makes sense. So that means, let me just, no, not all. Let me do that. Business, conferences, members only. Oh, not members only. Let's keep uncategorized because I know a lot of those blogs are still uncategorized. So you see that changed that. And so now it's less repetitive. And here, versus having all the things show up, I'm going to specifically point to COVID and chamber news if you want.
Sorry, can you explain again why that showed up twice?
So this is a function of the same thing. This is called a post slider. So it just reflects all your articles in a slider view, meaning I can go from this one to the next, you know, this is a new category, so there aren't any more posts there. But if I'm viewing it on the live end, I can sort of rotate through them. This one is called it's just blog. So a blog module, if you will. So it shows all the posts. I can tell it how many posts I want it to show on the page. And it shows whichever categories I'm choosing. The reason why they duplicated is because we had the same categories being reflected. So it'll just, this starts here. This is the first post, right? So that's why.
So if you have like a post with 2 categories, it's going to show up twice there if both of those categories are selected.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to show up in the slider and it's going to show up
Down there.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So if you have the grid view, and then there's different layouts here because you could also do it full width. And what that does is, this is like the more traditional view, right? It's like all that. I don't really like that. But anyway. Yeah, so if I had, for example, chamber news, right? That could be duplicated down here. But since I don't want it to be, because I want it to be up top, I just left that out of my options. So that's what I did earlier.
Can you scroll down on the grid view? Because it looks kind of like, or is it supposed to look like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Grid just meaning like columns, rows broken up into little, those featured boxes. If we had a standard size for images, they would all show up and on the same. I can see, yeah, that gets problematic because it seems like
I would like that. And I think when we do post, any post that we have, like just as far as branding and like just visual, because when I went to that page, it kind of threw me off the first time I saw it. But if we do have like standard images, sizes that we want to include, what size is that?
I mean, it's really up to you. This, I don't know off the top of my head. I can take a quick look. I have to be out of editor mode.
Okay, that's fine. We'll get to that, you know. But
yeah, I would think like a 6x8, like a 600 width by 800, or vice versa, probably, because you want it wider than you want it tall. So just figure something standard, and then just always use that for your featured image and your blog image. Probably the same. You want them the same.
Got it.
So there's that. Any other questions? Are we clear now on how this works?
Yeah, I'm clear. McKenna? How are you feeling about it? Do you understand?
Yeah, so far.
Okay. LJ, do you understand?
Yeah.
So like when we do these posts, because this is like, so what's going to happen is Virgin is going to create like a page, you know, like the posts are what going to drive content on our website. And so like for membership, you know, if we want to have news strictly around membership, we would categorize it as membership, and we could put a like blog thing under there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can do the same for like press. Like I want to break it up because I don't want all the news to just be on one page, but I want to break it up across our website so it's just easy for us, you know?
Yeah, and something to add to that, let me just get out of here. So if I'm on the front end and I want to get back to editing, I just go here to dashboard again. Something you can do when you break out those categories and you want to have like, what is it? Oh, actually, let me show you this the other way. So for example, if I'm here and I go to one of these, actually, that's probably a bad example because I want to show more than one. Let me visit this page. And I look at uncategorized, it'll pull up all the articles under uncategorized. I could definitely put like settings around this so that it shows only, you know, so much information from each. But what you're creating here is a dedicated page to that category. So if I wanted to add that to this drop-down menu, maybe it's like press or members only, whatever it is, you can add that to your what's called a menu. So if I come over here, I'm going to add a link to the menu. Oops, I can choose something. It kind of tells you here what your options are. I think, oh, here it is, categories. So I can choose, you know, chamber news, whatever. Add that to the menu, right? Under, oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong
Can
one.
we add the COVID-19?
Yeah, I'm just, so over here I'm switching because I was editing the footer earlier.
Okay.
So that's why I'm here, but I'm going to come back to the main navigation. Select that. Yeah. So here's our navigation, our top navigation. And if I want to use all of the articles under COVID-19, right? Then I add that to the menu. I can tuck it wherever I want. So this makes it part of the dropdown. If I just put it like here and keep it, see this alignment, that'll make it more visible. So we're going to save it for now.
It's going to be in the bar.
Yeah, exactly. So hit refresh. So now we've added it here. And this will give us anything relative to those categories. This is showing the featured image and then the post. That's a little much, but I just have to like edit the way those category pages are laid out. But yeah, that's the gist of that.
Awesome.
But you see how like because of the height of that featured image, it's like a ginormous, it takes up so much space. So yeah, very important to get specific on image dimensions. So I'm going to remove that because it looks weird for now.
No, put it up so Donna doesn't like keep telling us to put up something about COVID-19.
Oh, I mean, I can use the actual post as well. So I'll do that because it's nicer looking than the category page right now.
Oh,
so,
how do you do that?
So I went to posts. I chose which post I'm going to put up there, add that to the menu. How do we have it around here? I think I don't need it there.
You can put it in community.
Put it in community. Okay. And then I go here because I don't want that whole thing, obviously, because that's what's going to show up on the title as the link. So it's
yeah, put CA Relief Fund.
Okay.
CA relief fund.
And there you go. So now it has a new name, you know, quote unquote, new link, save menu. So menu is not like posts or pages where you get to preview first. Just keep that in mind. Like anything you hit save on is automatically live. So if you know, mess up, it's going to be visible. So if I come down here, there's that. And now we've got the post there. I'm like, this bothers me because it's so weird, but but that works for now. And I'm just gonna edit it so it doesn't look crazy.
Okay, while you're editing, I'll chime in.
Sure.
So yeah, as I mentioned, you know, the posts are gonna be how we get like the information out to like pretty much all of our constituents. And I know Donna is having us, she's requesting a lot, like, you know, post an article or post news on the website. And so now I just want to show you guys like how we post on the website, and to make sure that when you guys are doing the post, or like I imagine right now it'll just be McKenna and LJ doing the posts. I just brought Danielle in just in case you want to jump in and do some posts when you know you need something posted immediately. But this is how you do the posts. Make sure you categorize it. We're gonna, you know, I think there were some posts that we saw that I think this was helpful for me because I need to know, like, I was worried. I'm like, where are all these like articles that we're writing? Where is it going to actually show up on our website and be properly visible? And now, like, we see that it is. We're going to move some things around. So when people click on like news or press or membership or COVID-19, like they're taken to that proper information. McKenna, one of the things that I would like you to work on is any posts that are uncategorized, just give it a category. Like, just next week, you know, if it's past 50, if it's past 25 posts, don't do it, you know. But yeah, just the first 25, just give it like a category. So when people do click, like say people are on our news, you know, they're not just seeing a whole bunch of random information, but they're seeing like, oh, what business events have they had in the past? Like what stuff have they talked about regarding like COVID or, you know, membership or students? That way we know. I think this is just cleaning up the website a lot better. And then I also wanted to talk to you, Virgin, to see if you can assign us roles. Right now, we're all using. Okay, there we go. I'll let you handle it.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. So that's over here in users. Since you guys have subscribers and you were doing membership through here, so you'll see that. But you could also find a way to, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to filter it. Here it is, admin. These are the ones you currently have. So you want to create different roles for, what are the roles you need? Sorry. So the options.
Ask everyone to put in their email right now in the chat.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
If everyone could put in your chamber email in the chat.
Okay, that'll be helpful. And then you just come here to add new. Not everyone. So if you're just, for example, here are a few things to take note of. If you're just going to be editing the blog, you can have an editor role. So for example, here it is. You got editor, my bad, author, contributor, administrator. Contributor and author, those are pretty much the same. Author is mostly used when you have folks who are just doing posts, articles, etc. And that's something to be mindful of because it will show up in the metadata sometimes. Let me see if it's here. So for this one, for example, says by CSDBC, right? And I can edit this so that it doesn't show that.
No, I like that it shows that.
Yeah, I kind of figured, especially because it's the chamber, you probably do want to have who did what. So when you're building roles, the username is important because that's what's going to show up as author. And in the post itself, you can choose specifically who the author is as well. And I'll go back and I'll show you how to do that. So if somebody is, for example, like the social media manager or community manager, I don't know how you guys do it, then that would be important to have as like the username. If you wanted to call it something.
Oh, so the so not like just
not just
cotton
like
85, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. Not to make it something weird. Like make sure maybe you want it to be like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you have options, so you can get fancy or not. Because you could definitely just choose the author as whoever. But it's just be mindful of that, because when you do post, it'll show up who posted it.
and the username will be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry. Let me check the chat and see who we got here. And I think I'm
Start
gonna
with LJ.
LJ. Okay. LJ. Let's see. LJ.
Or he is the social media or community like manager.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So I'm gonna do that. L.J. All right. It's gonna generate a password for you. I'm gonna hit hide, but when you log in the first time, I think you have the option to change that. BT dubs. I'm gonna copy them. Yeah. So just in case it doesn't give you the option to switch it, here's that password.
All right, cool.
So I sent that. We're gonna
So this is my password?
Yes, specifically for your account.
Oh,
I'm gonna keep you on as an administrator.
Okay.
Because it sounds like you might be editing pages as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use that one, and I have to specify sometimes like the editor roles and what you're able to edit if I make that change.
Okay.
I don't know what they are right now, so I don't want anybody to hit a wall. Okay, additional users, SEO. I'm going to hit author as well. Okay. It's LJ. Isn't correct. What did I do? Let's see, but the email isn't. That's weird.
Email doesn't work?
Yeah.
I copied it right off my Gmail.
LJ at sdblackchamber.org. I don't know. It might have some other, I'm going to keep off the other rules and see what happens there. Email required. What's the basic email? What's wrong with that? Sorry. Let me see if it makes a difference. Maybe they have a setting for admin. I don't know. Let's see if this works. No.
The email address is incorrect. LJ at sdblackchamber. Can you try writing it again instead of pasting it?
Yeah, one second.
No, so I think she meant me. Okay. Keep copying this password. That worked. Weird. All right, I'm going to edit your rule there because that didn't seem to make any sense. But we'll see. Jesus, it's taking for life. Okay, LJ, I'm gonna send you the latest password because the one I sent you before it changed.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna make it admin. Let's see if that makes. All right. Cool. Oh, I need to plug in my charger.
So that's something that I can do. I'll probably assign roles to everyone.
Okay.
Most likely it'll be you guys will be author roles, but I'll name you guys a contributor 1, contributor 2, or chamber contributor, or just something really generic.
Yeah.
Like membership chair, like whatever your role is, that's what I'll name you, you know. Just so people are like, oh, you know. Cool.
Oh, the chair wrote that.
Membership chair wrote that one.
That's right. All right. Did you want me to add those, or you said you'd take care of it?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that right now.
All right.
And so any articles that we need to be writing, let's make sure that we add them to WordPress. So the flow of operations, what I see for creating posts and articles is that first we write it in Google Drive. We add all of the hyperlinks, you know. LJ will create like the picture, or whoever, we can all do it in Canva, but there will be a certain size that we're going to use for all the posts. And then once everything's good to go, we're going to post it in WordPress. We're going to publish it in WordPress. And then when we have like our weekly news articles, instead of the articles going to nowhere, like I really want to drive traffic to our website. So like right now, like it was very hard for me to drive traffic to our website from the MailChimp, the newsletter, because our blogging wasn't even set up. So I couldn't even direct people to like the website. But now that the website is up and we can all post, you know, I want to, you know, put like, hey, this is the article, but I won't put the full article. I'll say read more, and then they'll have to click to the website. And that's how we're going to drive traffic. Does that sound about right, everyone?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you, Virgin.
Yeah, I just wanted to, the last thing was, because I mentioned it before about switching the author. So here's that again. In Quick Edit, you can do it. And then you'll see your options.
Okay, cool. LJ's name there.
Yeah. So you can have those roles. When the roles are set, you can have them as options for authors.
If someone was a previous like author admin and we delete them, will their post delete too?
No.
Okay. Good.
No content attached. You can, however, so for example, if you're on one of these, the post, you can look up this. This is just helpful, actually. So it does the same thing as a category. So whoever the author is, you can search all the articles by that author. So it gives you like a page, a feed, if you will, of all of that author's posts. Yeah.
We did it.
Yes, Peter, we did it. All right. Any other questions? Let me know. Elizabeth has my info. If you guys run into any walls, hit me up. I'm pretty good in email or text. Don't take my number, actually. That's bad. I'm like, no, don't do that. But email me and I'm helpful.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
And I will get with everyone else later regarding, just practicing doing posts this week.
Okay. Have fun.
Okay. Bye.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Virgin.
You're welcome.